head of startup ecosystem from Unleash.
Yes.
What are you doing?
So I'm making sure that we have great startups to be part of our shows that are happening 3 times a year, but that also we try to help them all year round. So obviously, as you know, startup life that changes fast, so you can't just talk to them on those 6 days per show per year. So I'm trying to make sure that we have great relationships, that network's growing, that we have an ecosystem of investors also included, stuff like that.
So the whole year you're scouting the world for HR tech startups.
I'm actually collecting HR tech startups now as a job, which is the best job ever, right? I mean, I get to talk to any HR tech startups I find interesting, research them, research market trends, research acquisitions and stuff like that, which is really interesting. It's good for us to understand how that particular scene evolves and what the trends are and who are the players, where the hubs are, like geographic hubs even. So all this know-how is kind of bundled into my head, which is good.
Before it was HR Tech, I went to Amsterdam, Paris, back to Amsterdam, and now in London. And it's nice to see some startups or grown-ups who were startups 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. I did some number crunching with these previous exhibitors. So you have to know that there's like a couple of 200 startups that are part of our ecosystem so far from previous exhibitors. We only professionally started this startup zone or expo floor a couple of years ago. So Unleash has been in the business for longer, but this has been a professional part of the expo for a couple of years only. And we have already seen that 25% of the startups that are exhibitors with us actually have outgrown the zone. So you find them over there. So as we're now in the zone, some of the exhibitors like Smart Recruiters have started in the zone, small improvements, beameries, stuff like that is happening, and this is actually what we want. So try to make them come to our startup expo in our shows when they're really early on, and then help them grow to be bigger sponsors. That's the whole thing. So creating a lifetime value with them.
There's also a startup contest, and who is the winner?
Today, Robo-Recruiter won, so it was actually the battle of chatbots in recruitment, I find, because out of 6 competitors, there were 3 who are solutions in recruitment and re-engagement for candidates based on a chatbot solution or conversational bot solution, and Robo-Recruiter is the one that won. They're based in San Francisco and London, and the other one was JobPower from Germany, and then there's Gen AI from Israel, which is interesting to see that they come from different markets, so the startup zone itself is very international. But yeah, out of 6 finalists, 3 of them were chatbots. So that's the thing now, right? Everyone is talking about chatbots.
So this is London. In May we've got Las Vegas and Amsterdam in October. So what's the roadmap for the spotting startups?
So obviously the US is the single biggest market for startups in HR. As I did some research, you see that probably 50%, 40 to 50% of the startups that are visible, because some of them are still in stealth mode or not coined as HR tech, but the ones that are visible as HR tech startups in a specific stage, like pre-Series A even, 50% are based in the US, so this is for us a good chance to tap into that market and to grow our ecosystem there, which is already good because we did San Francisco last year. And Amsterdam is the biggest show in size that we run, and this is also a very international show, so there are startups from the US coming to Amsterdam too, whereas there are some startups actually from Europe going to the US show. And Amsterdam is probably the startup zone that's the biggest that we have ever done so far, so we're aiming at growing this very, very much further, and also making sure that we get more startups on stage with more in-depth conversations on their product. So not only blunt product pitches, because I think that's not as relevant to delegates. They can also look these things up, right? But having an understanding of the expertise of the founders, because when you're a founder in HR Tech, you have a really strong expertise in your field, preferably, and to carve this out on stage is what I'm aiming for in Amsterdam.
So if HR startups watch this video, they can contact you?
Of course, they should, because as I said, I'm a collector of them, so I'm actually talking to as many as I can and try to figure out who are the ones that can help grow. Honestly speaking, not all of them are probably meant to benefit from our shows, because we have a very niche delegate profile, so we're looking at decision-making level, more corporate than SME and stuff like that. So I always try to be very honest in the conversation that I have with startups to make sure that the expectations they should have are met. Because as we know, startups, they don't have endless resources for conference budgets, right? So when they spend their money with us, we should make sure that this is also beneficial for them. So, and obviously, since we know a lot of experts, so within the Unleash Inner Circle, as you see throughout the stage program, there's some people that always reappear, like Bill Bauerman, Jonathan Kestenbaum, all those people that are advisors to startup, obviously people we are well connected with. And there is always something that I can do for an HR tech startup, is connecting them with an advisor, with each other, with an investor, or having them attend our show. So I think, without bragging, it's always worth talking to us, not me specifically, but us itself, because our network is probably very strong.
Thank you.
Welcome.